Hey guys, it's Bree again, back with you on Translove Take 2. This is week 15, I believe. I think I'm finally getting that right. So this week is going to be kind of an exciting week for me because I have really 3 different parts to talk to. First, an update on the transition, 2, this week's topic, and then 3, a big secret reveal that I told y'all I was going to tell y'all about last week. But I'm going to tell you all that last, so that way you have to watch the video in order to get to the secret. So just kidding, kind of. I'm going to dive into it because I don't want to make this video too long. But so, okay, let me get my thoughts on track. So, Jason and I went to court on Wednesday. I went with him, obviously, not I went to court too. But his name is officially legally changed. The court ordered it, and he has a new license, and I think that's so exciting. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. And I'm super happy for him, and I just could tell he was super happy. The only thing that kind of is a bummer about that is the fact that it still says female on his ID. Which we both thought was kind of weird. I asked him, I was like, go back and have them check that, because on his renewal application for the DMV, he put male, but they still put female, and apparently the lady wasn't the nicest about it. But so I guess just in different states it depends on where you are in the transition as to where you put male or female, and the lady said that that has to be court ordered as well. So we're not really sure how that's gonna go, but we're hoping once we move to Cali, it'll be a little bit easier. But I need to check in on the laws there in Cali because we're in Texas right now. Speaking of, we're moving in exactly 1 month, so that's super exciting. But yeah, no, I'm super happy. I think this is such a big step in his transition, and I was so happy for him. And I just I'm like, it's official. You're officially Jason. That's so exciting. So this week's topic is what this process has taught us about ourselves. So be careful. If you don't like me talking about myself, you might as well stop watching now. Sorry, passive aggressive, I know. This transition has really taught me a lot about myself. I think the first thing is, one, that I can date a trans person. I know that sounds silly, but I've always told, even when Jason and I got into a relationship before he came out as trans, I was like, oh, I would never date a trans person. I've always told everyone I could never date a trans person, just own personal preference. There's obviously now, there's nothing wrong with dating a trans person. I know that now, but I really learned that, hey, it's okay. I fell in love with this person, and this is just how it's gonna be, and who cares if he's trans? Whatever, no big deal. What else has it taught me? Really, patience, understanding, that I can be an understanding person, because you have to be that kind of person when you're with someone who's trans, because there are times, especially when they're on testosterone, that they just get super angry for no reason, and you're like, what the heck did I do? And you learn that, okay, this isn't about me, this is about him, this is about his transition, I didn't do anything wrong personally. And so I really had to learn that I do have a lot of patience with him. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, we get into it sometimes, just normal relationship stuff that has nothing to do with him being trans. But also, I've learned that I can be a really strong person sometimes. I think I've always known that, but this has really shown me. Because I think I've told y'all, if y'all follow the videos, I've told y'all, sorry, I'm fidgety. I've told y'all at the beginning it was really hard for me, and I cried every night or every other night for the first freaking month. And even after that, it was still really hard for me. But I've learned hey, I'm a lot stronger than that, and we can get through this no matter what. And I think the biggest thing is that he didn't ask for this to be this way. He didn't ask to be born the wrong gender, just there are certain things about myself that I didn't ask for, that he has to be okay with, or that he has to accept in this relationship. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. What else? I guess that's, honestly, I know it's silly, but the fact that I can date a trans person is probably the biggest thing, because I was always against it. Because people will be like, why aren't you pansexual? I'd be like, because I wouldn't date a trans person. And I definitely wasn't open to it, so I've learned a lot about the transgender community that I did not know before. So I think that I've become like more open-minded, I think is really important. But yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it for this week's topic. I actually really like this week's topic because it's another reminder of like, hey, this transition isn't all about him, you know, it's about you too, or the partners. And I think that's a really big thing, because too many times people get stuck in the idea that it's all about the person who's transitioning, and it's not. It's so difficult sometimes for the partners of the people who are transitioning, for both MTFs and FTMs, and I'm glad that, you know, Carrie recognizes that, and so we do a lot of videos that talk about ourselves as well, which some people don't like, but I don't give a crap. But yeah. Okay, so what y'all been waiting for? And it's actually not a huge secret, because I'm sure a lot of people of you watching know this if you know me personally. But last week I talked about in like the mom's videos that me and my mom were kind of into it right now, and I told y'all next week I would tell y'all why. Well, there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm not about to sit here and tell y'all my mom and I's business, but one big thing is that Jason is not my fiance. Jason is actually my husband. So there it is. That's the big secret. We started dating June 19th, got engaged in August, and then went to California and eloped October 2nd. And we got married there, and it was just the two of us. No one knew. I think, well, like a couple of my friends knew. I told them, like, when I got back, and there are a lot of reasons as to why we did it that way. One, we honestly, it was just like, hey, I really love you, you really love me, why not wait, let's just do it. But also, we had a feeling a lot of people wouldn't necessarily agree, considering the fact that we'd only been together for June, July, August, September, October, 4 months. Sorry, I have to count that. Before we got married, and that's a huge thing to get married. That's a really big deal. And so we're like, let's just do it. We know this is what we want. It doesn't matter what anyone else wants. It doesn't matter anyone else's opinions. And so we got married. And we have been married since, and when people tell you that the first year of marriage is the hardest, it definitely is, especially when you throw a transition into the mix, and y'all have only been dating for 4 months before you got married. That makes things really hard, but I don't regret it at all. I'm so happy. We've had our rough patches, but I am very happy with the decision that I made in October, and I don't regret it one day. So that's my big secret. We're married. I did also choose to keep my last name because at the time we were a lesbian couple, and so we wanted to keep our own last names because, one, I love my last name, and two, honestly, I just really like my last name. But maybe one day we'll go ahead and, I don't know, do something. But it's weird. It's hard explaining because people will be like, oh, when did you get married? I'll be like, oh, we got married in October, we went to California. And they'll be like, why'd you go to California? Because right now they see him as a straight man, and so why would we go to California to get married? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I can't be like, oh, because, you know, he's transgender and he was a woman at the time. For people that I'm open with, but for just random strangers that I'm not really open with, that like don't need to know my business, I don't really say anything. I'm just like, oh, we just really wanted to get married in California. No, it's because the only place it was really, well, not the only place it was legal, but it was one of the few places it was legal at the time. But yeah, so thanks for watching. I'm glad y'all got to hear about my big secret this week, and please keep watching, and don't forget that if y'all have any questions or comments or whatever about anything that we say, or if there's anything that you want to know, feel free to comment so we can make those our next topics, because we always need topic ideas. But yeah, thanks so much. I hope that y'all watch next week and every week like y'all have been doing, because y'all are awesome. And don't forget to watch the other girls' videos because they're super amazing and I love them so much. And they're always there for me and I don't know what I'd do without them. So yeah, y'all have a great week and I'll see y'all next week.